Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a casted game of Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in on the east side of the map we've got beastyqt playing in yellow as the Malians. It's going to be going up against loueMT spawning in on the west in pink as the Abbasid dynasty. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to loueMT. The Ilalu King returns, beastyqt playing the Malians again, and we've seen how strong he can be with the Malians. The Malians have been an interesting civilization since release, have often gone for a fast castle Farimba build to start off. That was the original meta. Things have changed. They now often go for those warrior scouts, and it'd be interesting to see if that's addressed in an upcoming patch, because warrior scouts, they're incredibly strong these days with the upgrade. Gives them a lot of HP extra, and they, the regeneration on the health means that if you micro them well, keep them alive, they can do a lot of work for you, as we do see the economic wing being the wing of choice for loueMT, looking perhaps going for a second town centre. And that's going to be a tricky civilization matchup here for the Abbasid dynasty up against the Malians, because whilst the second town centre expansion could be quite strong, the Malians, without having to go for a second town centre, get a lot of the benefits of it. So often civilizations will place their second town centre on a deer pack. The Malians, though, instead of getting a second town centre, they just go for pro scouts, and they get those deer right underneath their own original town centre. Of course, there's the worker count issue, but that can often be counteracted by going for a fast castle and getting that tech up with the increased quality of units, which, by the way, would only cost gold with a 10% reduction in cost. So, interesting strategies will be on show today, I suspect, on loueMT. loueMT, a strong map for the Abbasid dynasty because of the fact that they tend to have spawning of quite a few berry bushes. A couple here near the woodline, and got another one further forward. It's not something that he can really take. There are two here. This could be a nice spot for a second town centre, has to be said. If he doesn't go for a deer, this could be a nice option. Could potentially go here as well. There is a woodline and deer pack. Remains to be seen where loueMT decides to go. I mean, we are assuming that he's going to go for a second town centre, but you kind of expect it when you see a player going for the economic wing. The Malians and beastyqt doing Malian things. Of course, got that pit mine, getting that passive gold generation, which if you're new to Age of Empires 4, this, well, does exactly that, gives passive gold for this civilization. Also, the passive gold generation is boosted by the number of houses or mining camps surrounding it. beastyqt opening up with that stable. Of course, we're going to be seeing warrior scouts coming in, I'm sure of it. Just a matter of time. And what's interesting with this new warrior scout meta is, of course, the Mansa Quarry is often being the landmark of choice for the Malians these days. It tended to be it's not this Sultan Hani trade network. I sometimes forget now. Can't remember what it's called. It will come to me. It might come to me later on in the game. But in any case, the trade landmark where you can place it around the pit mine to defend this position, save it from early aggression. Of course, you tend not to expect that against the Abbasid dynasty in any case. So, Mansa Quarry safe pick here. Passive gold generation is the option for beasty. Could toggle this to stone, but not opting to do that at the moment. The Sultan Hani trade network is indeed the landmark for the Ottomans. It's going to come back to me at some point, I'm sure. But anyway, it's the trade landmark for the Malians I'm referring to. So we are going to be getting Fertile Crescent, which is a nice upgrade for the Abbasid dynasty. Reduces the cost of economic buildings and houses by 25%. That's what makes the town centres cheaper, making it cost 262 stone, and I believe it's 300 wood, if I'm not mistaken. Do see professional scouts being researched by beasty. No real surprises there. Be able to look to pick some of those deer nice and early. And just keeping an eye on things with these scouts. And the great thing about the Malian scouts is that, wow, I might lose this one actually. It was a bit sloppy there for the Ilalu King. It wasn't a warrior scout, it was just a regular scout. Oh no, I take it back. Maybe it came in time with a warrior scout. In any case, he spots what's going on. So I was just saying that one of the benefits of having multiple scouts is you can often have very good scouting, obviously, and good information about what the opponent's up to. loueMT needs to bring these villagers back. They're running riot. They smelt blood, and they he hasn't got the memo. Come back. Where's that villager going? Okay, he's walling up. That's where he's going to. Fair enough. He'll be walling up nice and early to try and protect that economy on the side. Might be looking therefore to place a second town centre here on the deer pack. There are two deer packs to be had. Trying to create a bit of a choke point to the town centre. Wall here would be quite nice there for loueMT. Question is whether he'll be able to get it up or not. He's got a fair few spearmen, but we can see here beastyqt just microing the weak scouts away. And as long as he keeps them alive, you know, this scout is going to be healing up. Look how quickly it heals up as well. It's actually a bit bonkers. I think that healing rate really does need to be nerfed. It's just a bit crazy how quick they can heal up again. With a good micro, they can achieve a lot of things. Weak villagers there. 2 weak villagers there. I don't think the wall's going to go up in the end. Beastie might sacrifice a scout or 2 just to kill this villager. And you know, coming in from the east now. Desperate to keep the walls from going up. A lot of villager idle time. Oh, the spearmen continuing the chase, but there are more Ilalu warriors coming here. Scouts coming in. Oh, he's missed a villager there, though. In any case, behind all this has delayed the Abbasid Dynasty's second town centre quite significantly. So, you know, with loueMT also losing villagers, beastyqt is actually ahead on economy, which is not really what you expect at this stage of the game against the Abbasid Dynasty. And behind all of this, the warrior scouts gives him so much map control that he can actually expand to these secondary gold pit mines that he can lay down. And he's actually gone for the one furthest away, probably the one that loueMT is least expecting to be taken. And that's going to be a fantastic source of gold for beastyqt. So he's very much in control of the game so far. Him and are on hand to try and defend this villager, but I think the villager gets taken out. And yeah, he's just going to fight this and probably pull back away the weak scouts. Does lose one. Might just lose, but no, manages to get away with it. I suspect the phalanx upgrade is not in. If it was, it might have actually worked. And they killed that scout, but it is what it is. Okay, villagers here now looking to get this town centre up and running. beastyqt spots this, so we're seeing an 8-minute, 15-second second town centre. That delay tactics from Beastie has been fantastic. I mean, he's already behind on villagers here, loueMT. He's going to have to play catch-up. Second town centre will put him in good stead, but we talked about how now professional scouts behind all of this is bringing in that food. And I mean, something we've seen earlier on in the initial opening stages of the release of the game was professional scouts dealing the deer packs. Used to call it Grand Theft Venison. I just wonder whether the Ilalu King himself will be doing something similar today, because it's an option. It certainly is an option for the malians these days to steal the venison. And talking about how getting the second town centre on venison now is very commonly done, and beastyqt might deny a lot of the food that this town centre is looking to gather. Look at the health of the scout, just going up very, very quickly again. It all comes down to that healing rate. It's so powerful. Food being dropped off, and of course, food-wise, the miners can rely on cows. A really decent conversion rate, you know, 100 gold, or 90 gold in fact, and gives you 500 food. Where's this been changed? Yeah, it is 500 food, so it's a lot of food. Nice conversion. Okay, well, he's going to try and get the palisade walls up. Should just about... Oh, that's unfortunate there for loueMT. Just... Oh, no, he manages to get it then. That's a bit surprising. In any case, there are a lot of spearmen there, so I don't think Beastie can challenge this too much, but he's just being a nuisance more than anything, causing loueMT to spend that wood. Got to pull out of there, though. A lot of spears. But what's interesting is now this actually sets the game up very nicely for beastyqt's Forimba garrison. You can expect just a tech switch into archers would do really well against those spearmen. Continues to produce those warrior scouts, and this is the interesting thing about malians and how now they're dictating the pace of the game. It used to once be that they would go to the castle age and have the game dictated upon them. But now with the warrior scouts getting the map control, harassing the opponent, forcing them into spears, you can really dictate the pace of the game and the army compositions that are on offer. So for Forimba garrison, I'm sure now that beastyqt will be looking to get the ranged attack upgrade, Steeled Arrow, and perhaps looking to get those archers on the field, courtesy of the Forimba garrison. Those will be veterancy upgrades coming in soon as well, now that it has reached the castle edge, actually around about 10.5 minutes. It's a strong uptime, and meanwhile he's getting the gold passive generation. He is one villager behind after all of this. So that second town centre really hasn't done all that much for loueMT at this stage, and now villagers are being idle in that wood line, courtesy of these warrior scouts. They can dive in quite nicely and back out again. 9 villagers and gold, and it's a bit of a Malian masterclass here from beastyqt. There we are. Yeah, there we are, it's archers. As we predicted, as would be the case, and there's not much that loueMT can do about this. He's going to have to go away from this. Got too many spears, no cavalry of his own, and with 2 pit mines and the gold vein being taken with 21 villagers, he should be able to maintain constant production with this from the garrison. Not only that, being in the castle age does give the opportunity for beastyqt to look for some relics. I'm not going for that just now. He probably wants to clear up the army that's on hand in his base, and I think behind this, loueMT might need to try and take up to the castle age himself somehow, but He's so far behind. Does have a double outpost on that gold vein, and that could be challenged pretty quickly because he... I mean, the warrior scouts are taking fights against spearmen. This is so kind of broken. Shouldn't really be the case. And he's going to get the veterancy to the warrior scouts as well. Probably needs to pull this one back though, Beastie. Just misses out, and but he's taking trades against scouts. Sorry, spearmen. Pretty nice, and that really shouldn't be a thing. Group of archers coming forward now. Warrior scout and archers could be a nice play here for Beastie. loueMT has plenty of food in the bank. Has a triple town centre up and running now. Went on the other deer pack, but... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure there was a deer pack there. I think it might have been Grand Theft Venison. Holy smokes. Yeah, I think beastyqt took that deer pack. And it just stops loueMT from gathering it, and that's such a big deal. Archer's going to pick away the spearman. He did get the best part of this deer pack, but I'm pretty sure now that beastyqt took the deer pack there. It will be the military wing, the landmark, or the wing of choice rather, for the Abbasid dynasty. The archer's probably looking to just dive this now, as they have got the veterancy upgrade. They still take casualties, but idle time alone is doing a lot of damage. He's just going to go through, pick off some spearmen whilst he can. The outpost did a good job, but the trouble is, it's not enough to keep those villages on gold, and now loueMT's going to have to go for this back gold, and there's no way to transport these deer back to the town centre. He's going to have to drop another mill if he wants to take that food. Now looking to get a third, well, he's got a third pit mine up and running already. Spearmen are on hand there for loueMT to try and challenge that. It's a good job too, because he needs to restrict the gold income for Beastie. Otherwise this could get out of hand. In fact, it already is out of hand really. 1,600 food per minute coming in. That is crazy amounts of gold. I'm not sure if I said food there, but it's gold. Crazy amounts of gold, and that'll supply the Verimba garrison nicely. And warrior scouts just idling a lot of villages there on gold, and they're dishing out a lot of damage. The trouble for loueMT is you can't get to that castle age any faster than is already on the timer. You can't rush with villagers. The House of Wisdom just takes as long as it takes. I wonder whether beastyqt is looking to get relics behind this. That's exactly what he's doing. He's building the mosque, and that puts him in a really strong position here. Heading into the 14th minute of the game. 3 town centres does mean that loueMT is quite ahead on economy, but the question is whether he can survive until the castle age has enough time to kick in for upgrades and units. There's that tech up. It might be the signal for beastyqt to move forward. That's have 27 military. In fact, they are doing exactly that, moving forward. The villagers surround the warrior scouts. Camels are on the chase too. Veteran warrior scouts tanking so much arrow fire. Heads past the berry because no relics picked up for Beastie just yet. Did have a good 4-minute lead time on that castle age. Boot camp coming in. Boot camp, a very nice upgrade for the Abbasid dynasty. Increases the strength, or the HP rather, for the infantry. Could potentially also get recurve composite bows rather. That would increase, reduce the reload time for his archers by 33%. Nice bit of upgrade there for those archers if he wants to take it. Looking to get a mangonel on the field, which would do pretty decent against the archers, but there are a couple of warrior scouts that Beastie might rush in with to take care of the mangonels. Good micro there for Beastie, pulling away the camels and firing with the veteran archers as they pass. And veteran archers might dive on the woodline again. There's no villages on the woodline though. Have to relocate all the economy at the back. Double blacksmith means that he's trying to get those upgrades, but look at this, getting relics and sacred sites. This is where the malians are really strong with their not so much mobility, but their tempo aggression dictating the fight. And now he's going to dive right into the heart of the base. This is a problem for loueMT. Not sure what he can do to stop this. If anything, he's got 51 military here, Beastie, and he's heading further forward. There is a mangonel which could do some damage if he can get a good shot off, but the question is, can he catch these veteran archers? Eco is incredibly idled here. The trouble for loueMT is that Beastie is just camping the production buildings. It means that any units coming out, we pretty much just targeted on. And beastyqt is just gonna micro this down, and there are a couple of man-at-arms which will certainly help loueMT's cause. Veteran archers don't do too much, they don't do too badly against it. Well, they're just gonna go on stone there for loueMT, just trying to mine it as much as he can, but so much idle time being caused here. And on the front lines, there's more army coming in, attacking that gold vein, denying the gold vein. And the archers here are throwaway units, but they're putting the army here, and this is quite nice to pull this Mangonel, because I think beastyqt won't mind too terribly if he loses this group of archers. He's got so much value from them already. Mangonel fires off, doesn't... Oh, he fired on just one solitary archer. And I think beastyqt is going to dive on the Mangonel, get within close range, and means that the Mangonel can't actually fire against it. And if he manages to take the Mangonel, which he probably shouldn't, I think these units are lost, but in any case, actually he might get the Mangonel. If he gets the Mangonel, that's going to be absolute disaster for Louis. No, he should be able to keep this alive. But the problem for Louis is the army just camping out here, ready to attack again, assaulting villages on that wood line. The Abbasid dynasty is absolutely pinned in. There's 3 sacred sites, 3 relics already deposited, and 2 more coming in. beastyqt in full control of this map and this game on loueMT. It's turning into a bit of a Malian masterclass. I think the Lalu King is doing it again, and coming in with 61 military. Just under double the amount that Louis has, and this number of units, I think he's just going to dive in. The Sofa are heading forward, and I suspect he's got armoured. He's got the imported armour, which increases the armour by +2 for this Sofa, and they're tanking a lot of the archer fire. Yeah, they're going to look to just try and siege down these 2 outposts, the veteran archers focusing on the man-at-arms for now, and then we'll switch their attention. But the Mangonel is there for loueMT, gets a good shot off. It doesn't land too much, and just a couple of archers on the front lines get hit. I think the cavalry are now going to charge into the Mangonel. There's no units surrounding the Mangonel, but it's going to try and repair. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to repair it in time. Mangonel goes down, and this is a problem for loueMT. The veteran archers head forward. There are veteran archers for the Abbasid dynasty, but the blacksmith upgrades aren't really on par. It doesn't have the second armoured, the ranged armour, and that's the big difference here between the 2 players. BT heading in, camping underneath the town centre, causing all sorts of problems. loueMT does have the villager lead, but his military is absolutely dwindling down to 12 versus 55. beastyqt looking to seal the deal in this game on loueMT, and there it is. loueMT taps out. beastyqt, the Lalu King returns, showing us a Malians masterclass and adding in a Grand Theft Venison just to boot.